What is up, you guys? Hey, we're a couple minutes late simply because we're having some technical difficulties over here. I had to end up going live from my phone instead of my computer, so it took me a hot minute. If you're popping on, please say what's up. Let me know you're here. I'm excited. We're gonna have a little hangout session, talk about what's up with this this new thing that I'm launching. I want to talk about rituals, just in general, and I'm here to answer questions as well. And then obviously, if it's something that you want to be a part of, we can talk about it. Just give me a hot minute while I go over and choose to share this. I'm going to share this over onto my personal page. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Like I said, if you're popping on, let me know what's up. Here we go. Perfect. All right. I'm so freaking excited about this. Super excited. Oh, you guys have had a good day. I'm actually, quite honestly, super tired over here. I'm very sleepy. It's been a busy week. So I don't know. I hope some of you guys that are going to be jumping on with me today have had the opportunity to go and check out the page talking about what I'm going to discuss today, so you can have some more information about it. I definitely am. Let's see. I think this might be working. I'm super stoked. Let's just call a spade a spade. All right, so got this up. We're seeing who's live, who's not, what's happening. Here we are. Okay, perfect. I was doing a training earlier in one of my groups and I wasn't able to see any of the comments. And so I have my computer up, I have my iPad up, like we have all the things helping to show us who is doing what and making sure I'm not missing any comments. So, and for those of you who haven't been with me on a live stream before, I know it's been a bit actually since I've done a live over on my business page like this. Please let me know that you're here. Please feel free to ask questions and interact. Like, that's how I am. You're not going to interrupt me if I'm in the middle of a stream of consciousness. I will finish it before I stop. But absolutely the purpose of this is to ask questions and for me also just to kind of let you know a little bit more about what's going on. And so I posted about this I guess it was last Friday. I had this idea come to me where I was like, hey, Cody, what's up? I had this idea come to me where I wanted to start teaching a little bit more about some of the ritualistic, more like soul-based parts of my business. So those of you who've been with me for a long time, it is a big piece of my business has always been productivity and routines, and getting shit done has always been a thing, and that all is still part. I have my business background and then my life coaching lifestyle background, like all of that melds together. But what's become a really big piece of that is a lot of this, like, more, I guess you could say more spiritual, but like soul-based things are a part of how I operate my life and what I've evolved with, but also it is a big part of what my clients do. And it's just a big piece of something that I'm really passionate about. That's a big part of how I operate. And so that's what I created these series of masterclasses for. If you go to the site, you'll see there's 4 of them. You can purchase like a la carte, kind of like you can go to 1 or 2 or none, or you can do the all access pass, which gets you into all of them. But the whole point of all of this is that, like, what is the line that I had here? Basically that we know that there's more depth to connecting all of these things. Like, when you understand that every aspect of your life, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, but how you're interacting with people, how you're choosing to respond to people, but also just how you're feeling, your intention, your approach, controlling your own inner energy, things like that, how it's all connected. We all know there's more depth to it, but a lot of us aren't really sure how to crack the code of using that to our benefit. And that's something that I've been studying for a lot of years. And so that's really what I've created this series for. Crystal, thank you for being here, first of all. And what is a ritual? So basically, a ritual is very similar to a routine, but it's more of like a feel-good, soul-based, there's a reason that I'm doing this. Like, you're setting the stage behind how you're entering into something by having a ritual or the routine part of it. But it's more than like, let me check these things off the list, because a lot of time that becomes mundane. There's no feeling behind it. We don't really feel fulfilled by it, so we don't really stick to it. How many times have you started a plan or a routine and it's just not been something that you stick to? That's where a lot of people find themselves being. For me, like, there was a time and a place for checking the boxes off that served me, but it started to not serve me anymore. And I felt like there was something more to be fulfilled by. And so that's when I started putting feeling and intention behind this. Like, so I kind of put here, like, putting intention behind every movement and setting the stage to actually feel good and connected with what I'm choosing to do, or how I'm walking into the day, or whatever that may be, whatever the situation may be, are big pieces of ritual and creating that. And it can be super life-changing. So I've also had a lot of people honestly come to me and ask me about, like, what do you mean when you talk about energy? And what do you mean when you talk about crystals? And what do you mean when you use ritual? Like, they think I'm like sacrificing a lamb or something, which is absolutely, sure, I think that's part of some people's ritual, but not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is a very entry level, like, how you can control your inner energy, your soul, your thoughts, your feelings, your being, in order to set the stage for the day, set the stage for whatever it is that you're wanting to create, and bring yourself back to center whenever you need to. There's a lot, like, I'm going to talk about incorporating chakras if that's something you're interested in, but a lot of it is just being able to ground within your own body. So that's breathing exercises. I have so many notes. It's grounding exercises. It's explaining and understanding how to take those feelings and neutralize them, or lift up your own personal vibe in a way that you're feeling better about the things that you're doing. You are truly setting the stage. Instead of, like I said, just the routine where you're checking shit off the list, this is way more in depth. This is way more like heart-led, soul-led. You want to feel a part of this. You want it to fuel you as you move forward. You want it to fuel you as you walk into the day. Like, I always refer to it as magic. A lot of my clients that do ritual in the morning, especially like that, the morning is always a really great time to set the stage for the day. Sometimes in the middle of the day, if you're feeling off, it's really helpful. And these are just really simple, subtle things that you can start to utilize and shift the way that you're looking at things to move it into a space where it's working on your behalf. Hey, Crystal. We got two Crystals here. Hello. I love Kentucky. It's so beautiful. So that's really what I wanted to talk about specifically today, was just kind of explain that a little bit more and let people know that, like, what this class will be is super interactive as far as learning the best way to figure out what works for you, to really center and align yourself with whatever your purpose is for that day or that evening or whatever it might be. Like, I tend to use ritual first thing in the morning and at the end of the day. Those are the main places that I utilize it in order to simplify or really manipulate in a good way things to work in the way that I'm wanting them to wind down from the day, or to start the day up, to lift my own vibe and my own energy to match whatever it is that I'm wanting to do. Like, for example, if you're rushing out the door every morning, that's your theme of the day. It's not a great feeling. That is not what we want. We want to create a world where you're able to create that space and own that space and feel into that space to a place where you are running the day basically on your own terms. But of course, and the best part about it is, as life is happening, because you've centered yourself in the morning and because you've started with ritual, and again, I'm just using the morning as an example, but because you're able to do that, then you're going to interact and handle what life throws you the rest of the day in such a better way, in such a more, in a way that serves you, where you're not finding yourself feeling guilty or like you wish you would have said that, or you wish you wouldn't have said that, or you wish you wouldn't have yelled, or whatever the case may be. You find yourself into a space where you're just more in control of yourself in a beautiful way that serves you. And you start interacting that way, and you start attracting things that you actually want in your life. Yes, Crystal, meditation is a great thing to do in the morning. It's a great way to set the stage, and it's absolutely a part of my own personal ritual in the morning. That's something I'm going to go over in detail in the class. Like, my ritual in the morning includes candles, it includes incense, it includes reading, it includes journaling, it includes gratitude. Like, it is a very beautiful, quite honestly, it's a beautiful practice. Like, I feel really great when I'm finished with that. And that's the whole point, right? And so that is the whole point to why I'm teaching this. And like, to be honest with you, like, a lot of people asked about this because they feel really uncomfortable talking about energy or how they can own their own or acknowledge their own, and they're not really sure what to do. And to be real, I broke this whole like more soul-based, in touch with your internal, like in your internal energy, your chakras, I don't even know the word to use for this. It's just that power that you have within you, to where you're more connected to everything on a deeper level, everything that you're doing. I broke it into 4 classes specifically because I didn't want to be overwhelming, first of all, but because it is kind of it's stage by stage in order for you to really create that shift and that change. And I'm so passionate about it because it is so beautiful. I had somebody reach out to me about teaching this to their business, to their, like, all of their employees, for their own mental health and their own confidence, because it does bring a lot of confidence. It brings a lot of peace into your life. It helps you be a better communicator, like so many things. And they were like, why are you charging so little? And I'm like, because quite honestly, it's not even about the money. Like, I charge money for courses. Let's just be super honest. I charge money for courses simply because a lot of times when I do a free course, which I've done a lot of them, if you've been with me for a while, people don't commit. They sign up and they don't follow through. And like, it hurts my heart. Like, I want people to have some skin in the game so that they will follow through and so that they will do the things and make these changes and make these implements. When you have a little bit of skin in the game, it really, really helps with that. So again, the whole purpose here is to feel much more connected with everything that you're doing, instead of like it's just a part of the checklist. Because a lot of times that's when we get discouraged. Like I said, that's when we go off and we don't stick to the plan because we're like, ugh, and it just doesn't feel fucking good at all, okay? And like, the purpose here, not to sound like airy-fairy, is to make it into things that there's always going to be hard work. There's always going to be things that we don't want to do, or that are frustrating, or maybe they're boring sometimes, or whatever they may be. Those things will always exist. But like, when we can take pieces of that and turn them into something we enjoy, like, why would we not? Because then those harder moments, like for example, sitting down and creating a sales page website is not my favorite thing in the world to do. It's super tedious, but it doesn't bother me because I have lit myself up and grounded my energy and like put this like soul-based feeling and connection behind all these other things, to where doing that tedious work, tasky bullshit work that we don't always want to do, none of that upsets me or frustrates me or is it doesn't bring out those negative feelings anymore. Even when I'm working out and it's like, oh, this is the last thing I want to be doing, it's not nearly as bad because there's other parts of my day where I'm like, feel really great because I've created the space for that, which is what this series of classes is all about. So what this includes, just so that you know, the one class includes, it's a 2-week course where basically it's all housed within a Facebook group and in your email. Like, you'll get it in the Facebook group and in the email. The group is mainly so you have direct contact with me. It's a great place to share. The group opens a few days before the first training comes out. I give a intro. I ask everyone to do an intro, and then there is like what I consider to be like a download or a homework style thing where it's a training to where you're going to be asked to interact and like do that practice or answer those questions or do the journaling prompt or whatever it is. Each course is a little different, but that's the first day. And then a couple days later, there'll be the live training, and then which is open to all questions. And throughout this entire process, you have direct access to me, which for that price point is like insane, but I'm super stoked. But what it is you have direct access to me during that time frame where you can ask any of the questions, and that's the point. Like, I want you to start thinking about how can I implement this into my own life, and talk about it with me and talk about it with the group, so that we can really help you during that time frame get this stuff really worked out on how it's going to work for you specifically. And then a couple days after the live training will be a live Q&A. I typically post a stream of questions first. We do a live Q&A, and then you still have another week and a half, and I'm still interacting and posting things, and there's downloads for you to keep forever that you can utilize over and over and over again in your own life as you maneuver and change things and whatever it is you want to do. I'm going to include on this, there will be a bonus class that I will post the dates in for anyone who's interested within this class. Not everybody's interested in crystals and oils and herbs and angel oracle cards and things like that. Now everybody's down with that, and I get it. So I'm not making that a massive part of the training, but I'm making it a bonus that will be involved in the training as an added extra for whomever wants to attend that specific training with those specific information and downloads about how I utilize those tools into my life and practice and what I've learned about it. And it also is a place for people to ask questions without feeling stupid or feeling judged or scared or like they're getting the wrong information or whatever. Like I said, I've spent years studying this stuff. So that's why I'm like, hey, I really need to share this. So that is just one class. Yes, Crystal, you do create your own reality. I absolutely believe that. I'm living fucking proof of it, quite honestly. My life used to be extremely different than it is now, and I've worked very intentionally in order to create that. I have worked specifically to create a very different reality, and I think it's a great thing because we can continually change it and grow even better and better and better and better and bigger and different, and all the things that we choose, whatever they are that we choose to do. And that's why this is such a big piece. Yes, oracle card readings are so great. I have a couple of decks myself that I am super in love with, and I've been taking tarot classes actually from a friend of mine who's been reading tarot for 30 plus years, and she's just helping me get a little bit more fine-tuned on the actual like technique. As far as the intuitive side of it, I'm pretty good at it and it's exciting, but she's helping me, so I'm super stoked about that. And that's something that'll be part of that bonus of this course for those of people who are not freaked out by it or that are interested in talking about those things. So like I said, this is the first class of a 4-part series. The next one is on manifesting. That's class 2, which will start 2 weeks after the first course. The third one I called manipulating time. And the reason is because I hate that the word manipulate has such a bad rap because it's actually a brilliant word. But the biggest thing is people's relationship with time is really crappy because we're in a world where everything's busy. I don't have enough time, blah, 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 blah. So we look at it as a negative thing. And so there's a lot of mindset shifts around how you deal with time that will literally alter the way that you exist every single day. It is huge. So in that class, we will talk specifically about that. And then we'll also go over some absolute details about how to plan in the best way, which is my forte. So, but how to do it from a soul-based, like good, feel good place. And in the manifesting thing, I didn't really talk about exactly what we're going to do there, but there'll also be a lot of information about the law of attraction, how to make it work in your life instead of being a complicated thing, which a lot of people think it's super complicated and scary. We'll talk about ways to shift your mind in the day-to-day thinking and operating in language that you're using to where you're really manifesting like just naturally all the time based upon the way that you're operating. And then there'll be some visualization exercises and things that come with that. And then the last class is intuition and self-awareness. So a couple years ago, I was actually featured in a lifestyle magazine in the UK about my use of intuition and how it changed my entire life. So also there's a big story behind self-awareness and how it has just like been something that I am so grateful for. And so in this class, that one's going to be pretty in depth, honestly. That's the reason I'm doing it last out of this series, because that one's going to specifically be about talking about how to create these tools within you, because your intuition is there naturally. Your gut instincts, right? So we're going to talk about how to see those and feel them and acknowledge them differently. And then self-awareness is something that you have to intentionally build. And I'm going to talk about ways to do that. Because it is a great tool to see behind the curtain of your own shit, basically. Again, these are all on the same style of learning. That last class will be 3 weeks long because it is much more of a robust item. And then, yay, Crystal, I would love to have you in any of the classes, but especially the ritual class. Like, I think it's a great starting point. I feel like it's, again, I think that all these 4 courses work really, really well together as like an overhaul of life in general. It's a great way, honestly, to work with a coach with me directly for 6 weeks. Well, hold on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks. I can't even count, which is amazing. And so that 10-week window is like at a fraction of the cost of hiring a full-time coach. And so for me, I'm honestly just stoked to do it. But that's the point. And like, I created an all access pass, which then allows you to purchase a ticket to all 4 classes. And you save like $85 or $88 or something like that by doing it that way. But you also get a bonus one-on-one Zoom call with me at the end of all of these, which is like, we'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. But I feel like a lot of it's going to be how all of this fits into your life, all of these courses fit into your life, and how moving forward you can continue to grow on all of that and just really acknowledge those things. But that'll be me and you on a Zoom call, video chatting back and forth. It's not texting questions. It's literally talking back and forth with me privately. And that is just an included bonus if you choose to do the all access pass. Each one of the classes is $97 a piece. If you choose to buy them separately, if you do the all access pass, then they are $77, I think, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, $77. So you save $20 per class if you do the all access pass. We start on September 9th, so a little over a week away, basically, before we get started, and I will take signups up until the day of the class. And so, obviously, like, I am going to cap it at one point, so I wouldn't wait too long if you're super interested. I also am a firm believer in, like, obviously, if you know me, I'm not a hard seller. Like, I'm not somebody who's like, you need to do this because that's what you need to spend your money on. I fully believe it's a personal decision. What people choose to invest in and what they don't. The one thing that I will say is, if you have a feeling in your stomach that this is something that you need to do, I can tell you in my own personal experience that by following those instincts is why I am where I am today. It's why I have the lifestyle and the creation of freedom that I have, and have been able to build this life in such a different fashion than I ever even knew it was possible, is simply because of that. So, I really hope that you guys I really hope that you're here. Like, let's just put it that way, that you sign up and you're in there with me. I think it's going to be, and I know for a fact that it's going to be beautiful. The moment that I even thought of this series of classes, I was covered in goosebumps. The moment I sat down and wrote about them, they just flowed out of me. Like, this was literally placed inside of me to teach. It wasn't even my choice to an extent. It was just like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be talking about right now. So here we are. Tell the people all about the ways that you've made your life so much more peaceful and calm and beautiful, and how it's so much more than just mindset work. Because, I have a hard time labeling what I do for a living, because I'm not just a business coach. I'm not just a life coach. I'm not just a branding coach. I'm not just a mindset coach. Like, it's really hard. That's why I kind of use the like lifestyle term, because it is just a holistic thing. And the further I keep going down the rabbit hole, the more holistic it gets. Like, we got nutrition going on right now where I'm getting certified. We've got the tarot and the energy work. I'm going to get Reiki certified. Like yoga classes, like our yoga instructor, just all these great pieces. and then there's this instruction, this business instruction certificate I'm getting. So just all these pieces of being kind of like a one-stop shop, and that's just part of who I am. So it's how I live my life. All of this is just basically me sharing with you what I do and how I do it and how it's worked for me and how I've been able to flip it around and help and teach my clients the information as well so that they can shift their life too. And it just makes me super happy. So Crystal, I would love to have you in the group. I'll go ahead and post the link to it in the what's the hell am I trying to say? The body part, the beginning of the video. Like I'll put it up where it says, let's talk about rituals. I'll put the link so you can check it out. If you have any questions, you can pop them in now, or you can always shoot me a message. There is a contact box on the page, or you can message me here. If you are interested in so each one of the classes is described in detail on the page. You can purchase the individual classes at where you see each one of the names, but if you're interested in the all access pass, it is at the very bottom. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And then you get instructed, and as soon as you sign up, you'll get an instructional video from me that tells you what to expect, and then we'll move forward from there. But basically, like, you can ask some of my existing clients that have worked with me. They're so funny. Like, one of them was actually here live with me the other day when I was writing out the last pieces of this course, and she was working on a course herself, and she goes, dude, I just have to say, I'm like, wow. She goes, if people only knew like how much you pour into your courses, and like if they really wanted to take advantage of being able to have full access to you during these courses, they'd literally get thousands of dollars worth of training during that. And I just looked at her and I was like, well, I appreciate you saying that. Like, I do really pour my heart and soul in to all of it, and like a lot of people don't take advantage of it. Like I won't let anybody overly take advantage of it because I'm pretty great with boundaries, but like no, a lot of people don't take advantage of the access. Like even in my paid coaching group, Operation Do, a lot of the people in there, they show up and they listen to every call every week, but when I ask like, what do you need specifically, like they don't take advantage of asking the questions. And I don't know why, but I wish they would, because I would take all the time in the world to give them specific details of how I can help them, or what can, help them and things like that. So anyways, I've been chatting your ear off for like 20 minutes, so I am going to go. For those of you who have been watching and been here with me, I absolutely appreciate it. Everybody watching the replay, let me know that you're here as you watch it. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you feel like it would be helpful to anyone else, I always appreciate if you hit the share button and share it with your audience as well. I hope you guys have an amazing and beautiful night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.